Hey, everybody, this is Cameron from Obnoxious and Anonymous. Do not adjust your sets. Yes, this is a Twin Peaks Thought of the Day live stream here. I have hair. My guest today, hang on. Oh, my goodness. I'm getting feedback now. My guest today is Hal, and he has hair on his face.
Yeah, it's a little facial experiment here. I didn't know if it was like, am I experimenting with my features or am I just lazy and I don't want to shave? I think it's kind of a combination because I have to actually do this bit, but this bit's the experiment.
Now, you almost frightened me there because you just did this, and I thought you were going to give me a really gesture. Like,
get your mind out of the gutter, boy. I like your hair though, man. It looks good.
Yeah, I know. Somebody wrote me the other day saying, "Are you growing your hair out to play Gordon Cole?" I was like,
"What?"
I was like, "No, but I don't know. That's another perk, I guess. I don't know."
Man, it's so good to see you. It's been a while. So
it's been a long time. I don't think you've been on a show since January, right?
No, and it's like coming up on a year when season 3 started. I
know, and everybody online, I'm sure you've seen this, where everyone's getting ready to do the big rewatch.
Yeah.
And I'm just not there yet.
I'm not there yet either, man. I haven't rewatched it. I want to, but I'm not there.
You know what I think it was, because we watched every episode 5 or 6 times in a week.
Yeah, I've seen it.
And it's just I'm just not. I don't know. I'm just, you know what I mean? I'm not geared up to watch the whole thing again.
Swim in it forever. You got to go back and revisit it at some point.
Exactly. But hey, I'm really excited to see everybody, talking about it. What makes me laugh is on Twitter, people getting these conversations and they tag 30 people on these conversations.
Yeah.
And so whenever they're talking, today they were talking about Nido and flipping the switch and all that. And so every time someone responds, which is literally every 5 seconds,
yeah.
Every time I go on Twitter, I have 75 notifications, and none of them have to do with directed at me or anything. It's just I'm just part of this conversation.
Yeah.
Just
the beauty of social media. It's what we live for. It's what we work for.
Yeah. But before I forget, I guess they asked Kyle MacLachlan what the what that box in outer space was called in the script.
Yeah.
And he answered them. He said it was called the SS Minnow.
Really?
Yeah. So all of a sudden we have this Gilligan's Island reference. It's so bizarre, but that's quite funny. So now, yes. So now whenever you refer to the box, for good or for bad, it's the SS Minnow.
SS Minnow. That is really funny.
It always cracks me up still when Nido just does that big swan dive off. It's
right.
It's so random. It's she just she swan dives and then appears at Jackrabbit's Palace.
Yeah, I'll see you later in the series. Bye for now.
Exactly. Oh, by the way, I'm actually a white woman too. But
I'm actually Diane. It's what?
Yes. Oh, NATO. Oh, it's hilarious. I tell you.
Yes.
So
I'm glad to be here for a front row seat for a Queen of Hearts update. I'm sure we're going to get to that, aren't we?
Oh, sure. But let me just, I haven't talked to you in forever. I mean, literally what people don't understand is we might message back once in a while, but for the most part, this is where we have our conversations.
Yeah.
So what have you been doing for 4 months?
Man, I've just been, I just work, I eat, I sleep, just normal shit. I've gotten into some other shows, I'm kind of watching The Handmaid's Tale now. That just started up again. I really like that.
Yeah. I heard
Silicon Valley is always funny, man.
Oh, look, the chat's here. Anna's here. I want to just give a shout out to Anna Flaherty. Not only she has this amazing blog and she's a wonderful writer. She's actually writing these wonderful articles about Queen of Hearts, which is amazing. But she just got picked up as a writer for the 25 Years Later site. Oh. And she just dropped her first article today about Sunset Boulevard, the infamous film that woke Agent Cooper up from the Dougie's sleep.
That they're also going to re-release. Fathom Events is doing the theatrical release for a couple of days coming up.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah.
I thought that was last year. No, they're doing it again this year, or
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're definitely ready for our close-up, Hal. So
definitely, Mr. DeMille.
Let's see.
Mystic lived here.
Yeah, so Anna's here. She says it's so good to have you both together again. Brianne's here. Lights above is here. He's yelling out, "Got a light." Jason's here. Wait, you know what? You haven't done it in months. Give it.
No, let's not resurrect that bit. No way. I'll have those Twin Peaks Coffee Time guys ridiculing me again.
Lights above says Cameron is not just the member of the hair club for men. He's the president. Thank you very much. That's ridiculous. Anyway,
so what have you been up to, man?
Oh my goodness.
Getting any sleep at all?
Barely. I can't go into a lot of stuff, but I mean, way off topic. They caught the serial killer.
I know, and you were like involved with that, and that was mind blowing. The way they did it, the details of following those DNA family trees back to great grandpa, and then did you read the details of how they got him finally? It's amazing.
They like ran the DNA through like a genealogy site,
right?
And now all these people are up in arms about, is that legal? Should that have been done? Well, the truth of the matter is that
they caught the guy.
Well, not only that, but nobody was on the verge of turning this guy in. Nobody.
No.
There was no tip. This name has never come up in any police search.
No. It was the relentless efforts of a couple of people that did it on their spare time and stuff, which is incredible.
Right. And it had, I hate to say it, but it didn't have anything to do with any books that got published or anything like that. It just, I mean, yes, that did kind of bring up, these cases back to the forefront in people's minds.
Let Patton Oswalt's wife rest in peace and get her little moment. It's a you know what I mean? It's like, I know, I get it.
No, listen, she worked very hard. She worked very hard. And listen, I was a friend of hers.
But you're right. It didn't have anything to do with that book.
The way they
hard police work.
The way they caught him had nothing to do with the book.
Exactly.
I mean, that's just a fact. Now there are people trying to spin it into yes, that book caught him, which it didn't. And I say this honestly as a friend of hers.
Right. And I don't think that it did anything to increase what they were doing already.
No, they would have done this anyway.
Exactly.
But what's unbelievable is that when I was, going around to all these sites and researching this thing and writing the script for the film that I was going to make like almost a decade ago about this, that this guy lived 5 minutes from my mom's house.
That's bizarre, man.
And so when I was staying up in Sacramento, he was literally down the street from where I was.
Creepy, man.
Yeah. So
I hope you get your second film made too, because I'm curious now after this case has come out and now I know details of it. I'd never heard of it, until you had mentioned it in passing and I was kind of like, oh yeah, okay, I don't know anything about that. And then this happened and it's like, now I'm kind of interested. So I'm really curious about the story of the last girl that your film was going to be about.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're you never know. They might be finding more people he killed too. I mean,
true.
But this, but Janelle was a very special case. I mean, obviously every person that died was special, but he came out of hiding after 5 years for her, and then seemingly disappeared until they caught him.
Yeah, and he targeted and researched his victims and stuff, right? So there had to be something.
Oh, we may have to do another
interesting
show about.
I do. I want to hear about that from you.
Because
you know it inside and out.
Yeah, and Michelle McNamara, since you brought her up, before she wrote her book, she wrote this huge article for the LA Magazine about these cases, and then that article is what got her the book deal.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go to she had a version that got published in the magazine, then they had an extended version for the website.
Did she speculate on the identity at that time?
No. I mean, everybody had ideas that he was probably ex-military or police or whatever. But if you go to that extended version of the article, I think it's either page 4 or page 5 of it. She actually sources me as for the Janelle section. So, I don't know. I'm curious to know what her book would have been like if she had lived finish it.
To see him get, because every good book needs an ending, you know, and this is the ending.
Right. And I mean, and one other thing that I just, since we're on this topic, I'll just throw this out there. A lot of people are spinning this into, this was like a lifelong crusade for her. I can safely say that it wasn't. She got on.
It was more for the policemen that were doing the
no,
work.
that's not what I'm talking about. She got on this case around, I'm going to say 2011, 2012.
Okay.
Because I was already on it before she came in.
Yeah.
And when she came in, she reached out to me about the case. And so me and a few other people filled her in,
contributed to her.
And then that got her digging more. And then, you know, and so what's kind of funny too is, I mean, I have one of the only on-camera interviews she's ever given. The footage, it's on this channel actually, but the footage I shot, 48 hours, used it for a big special they did on her a short time ago. And every time they cut back to her was one of my interviews that I did with her. I don't care. I'm going to say it anyway. 2020 contacted me this week, because everybody's wanting to do stuff about this, you know. So 2020 is going to like air some of that footage too. The Inside Edition aired some of it as well, and I was kind of ticked off because they sourced CBS for it, and I'm like, wait.
It's like, can you can you give me a credit? I don't. I mean,
listen. I mean, you know, obviously news agencies don't pay people to use footage and stuff like that, but how about a little footnote? Right. You know, Bird with a Broken Wing, Cameron. Something.
Yeah, footage courtesy of. Yeah.
Exactly. So anyway, you're gonna see a lot of people like taking credit for a lot of things with this case. And the truth of the matter is, it was a collective thing. As I said with Janelle's sister on a video we did a couple weeks ago, any person who made a video about this, wrote about this, went on a message board about this, talked to a friend and said, hey, did you hear about this? It kept it going in somewhere in the public consciousness. If it had just been allowed to fade away like so many other things are, he still would have been, you know, living in Citrus Heights, California. I don't think one person, you know, is the one that did it. You know, I mean, obviously the people who ran the DNA ultimately, but what I'm saying is that it was the people that helped keep awareness, raise the money for them to be able to even try that, you know, or think of that. So,
well, there wasn't much funding for it. If you actually read what they went through, there was like, you know, it was sort of in their extra overtime and their free time that they did a lot of that genealogy legwork, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And, you know,
it was a cold case pretty much, other than it wasn't, you know,
well, you know, 50 plus rapes, you know, over, you know, 12 murders.
Right.
You know,
but I mean, they had no leads, nothing. They had nothing until these people
they had nobody. And people were cross-referencing, you know, high school yearbooks and that type of thing. And, you know, I mean, people thought that he had moved across the state, but it looked like he just had settled in Citrus Heights and just was commuting to do some of these crimes, which is insane. So, I mean, there's going to be more and more details obviously coming out, but I got to tell you, I'm a little terrified that like my phone's going to ring and it's going to be like the Sacramento police and they'll be like, he wants to talk to you. You know, like,
yeah, really.
no, because I mean, my family is always.
He thinks you're simpatico, man.
Well, no, I mean, I remember when I started trying to raise money for Bird with a Broken Wing, like a long time ago. You know, the FBI told me that they were going to be monitoring the sites because they figured that he would be contributing to the film. So I went back and I looked at any possible donor, and there's a few anonymous ones, but for the most, I can't tell that, you know, if he did or not, but Michelle McNamara donated to the film. So, you know, that was a lovely thing. But yeah, I mean, it's a wild case, and I don't know why we're talking about this on a Twin Peaks Thought of the Day video, you know, but here we are.
Because maybe it'll be your second film. You never know.
Well, you know what? I'm kind of thinking about that. Actually, you know, it's back in the news, and actually people seem to be caring now. A decade ago, I couldn't get anyone to write anything about it except for like horror movie websites that were like, oh, this sounds cool because it's about a serial killer and the last victim and everything.
My mom is interested in serial killers, and so is my girlfriend. They have that in common in a weird way. It's never been my like thing, but they like that true crime stuff, you know. And so I'd never heard of it, and they talk about it all the time, you know. This guy and this guy did this and stuff, and I'd never heard about this case.
Yeah, well, a lot of people that live in Sacramento or other place in California never heard about this thing either. That's the thing that was so scary about it, was that it was seemingly buried when they couldn't figure out who did it. It was like, let's just let it kind of go away. And anytime someone brought it back up in a newspaper article, let's say in the 90s or in the 2000s, the whole town would get so up in arms about it, be like, why are you bringing this back up just when we're trying to forget
Don't remind us,
Don't remind us.
Don't instill the fear again. Don't put that out there again.
Exactly. And I don't know, to me, I'm just like, well, that's what helped catch him too, you know. Somebody asked me the other day, like, what's the greatest relief knowing that this guy is caught? I mean, for many things, obviously, for the victims and the families and all that. But for me personally, I'm so happy I don't have to worry about opening my front door and getting shot.
Yeah.
Because
the creepy way would break in and then like wait for you to follow the noise and find him. And
I wasn't worried about that. I figured he'd be, if he was still alive, I figured he'd be in his late 60s, early 70s, whatever. But he's not too old to pull a trigger.
No doubt.
You know, and so there were times, I gotta tell you, there were times where I would like walk to my car in the morning and I'd always be nervous that like I would just get plugged like right there.
Well, I'll tell you what, you know, if he had a gun and he said, I'm going to tie you up with this rope or I'm going to shoot you, I'd go, shoot me. I'll force you to shoot me.
But you know what, though, what he had going for him at that time was that, you know, a lot of people didn't, even though they went to the police, a lot of it, the neighborhoods would just kind of quietly hush it over. Right. So a lot of people weren't like he would hit one house and then like 6 months later he would hit like 2 houses down, like the same street. And so if you hit these neighborhoods, it's like all the houses are like they all share like backyards. So if you hit the backyards, you could hit like a whole neighborhood.
Multiple, yeah.
And so he would go and like, you know, stake out all those houses like that. So what's did
he ever do more than one in a night? I
believe he attacked 2 different houses in one night, but he didn't go through with like a sexual assault or whatever like that, like in two nights.
That's grim, man. So grim.
It's really like hardcore stuff. But anyway, so yeah, but you would go to these neighborhoods and you couldn't believe it was like one house and then one house and then one house. And then the fact that he was living amongst those neighborhoods where they caught him, it was like, you know, instead of a serial killer having trinkets, he lived where he created terror. Yes, and he probably was at the grocery store with a lot of these people that he terrorized, because a lot of people still lived in these areas, right?
It's like Wyndham Earl. I like the fear I'm feeling.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But anyway, I couldn't get anyone interested in writing about it. And finally, I don't know what it was, 2013 or so, I kind of just had to, just for my own sanity, kind of just back off from it, you know?
Yeah, sure. You can't stay in that space too long. Or else.
No, because what happens is you walk into a room, and instead of like just walking into a room and enjoying your company, you would walk into a room and immediately like assess the escape plan. Right.
Right.
Like, okay, I got a door there. I got a window there. I got a door here. So like for years I could, you know how like Janet Leigh talks about like Psycho, right? After Psycho, she couldn't take a shower. For a long time, I could not like walk into a room that only had one door, like exit. But anyway, what I wanted to say was he used to his advantage the fact that people had no idea that this was happening a lot. So like they would just be like, you know, he would catch people off guard and like, you know, obviously, right?
Surprise.
Right. And you know, and obviously they're terrified. But like, let's say like he came in and you caught him, right? It doesn't matter if he had a flashlight, a gun, or anything like that. Like if you were just like, hey, what are you doing here? He would run. So he was like chicken shit, you know, too.
Oh, see, I thought that was part of his modus operandi, is that he would make a noise and wait for you to find him, and then he would...
No. He would wake you. He would wake you up in bed.
Oh, okay. Shine a flashlight in your face and stuff. Yeah.
Right. And now that he's a cop, right? It now makes sense why he at some of the crime scenes had like German shepherds and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
you know, but what he would do is he would come in in your house during the daytime and set it up. So he would like leave some ropes and stuff like that, and he would find out like where you were and like where your guns are, and he would like empty out your bullets and stuff like that. So like when he came in, you were already like his plaything.
Oh wow, Mr. Cruel.
Yeah, well, he wasn't Mr. Cruel. He wasn't the guy from Australia. They found out that.
Okay, wasn't a connection? Okay.
No. But now that we've probably terrorized,
he could be the American Mr. Cruel.
Yeah, well, he definitely was that. But I'm sure we've terrorized everybody. And
yeah, what a creepy side. Good night, everybody. You're like, wow, I was looking forward to a new video, and
yeah,
it's really bringing me down. You're harshing my buzz, man.
Yeah, so everybody's talking about the case. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, they're talking about the serial killer, obviously.
So tell me about this Emmy thing with Twin Peaks, because I only caught a little bit of.
Wow, that's a segue.
I know.
All right, well, welcome back to the Twin Peaks thought of the day.
We exhausted that other man. That's getting grim.
Yeah, well, anyway, it allows the viewers to come in. We have 42 viewers at the moment, so that's great. Okay, so do we want to talk Twin Peaks first and then go into the Queen of Hearts subject? Let's do that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk Twin Peaks first. Okay, Twin Peaks news. Let's start with not the Emmys.
Okay.
Let's start with Pamela Gidley.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's very sad.
Lisa Banks.
Very tragic.
Yeah.
I don't think they've released the
cause of death.
But honestly, if it's not foul play, who cares? Right?
Well, it's her personal life, yeah. But she died young, and so it's tragic, most likely.
Yeah, and from what I understand, I've never had contact with her, but from what I understand, if you did reach out to her like on social media, a lot of times she would respond back and chat with people and stuff like that. So
she was sweet to the fans and stuff, yeah.
The people I've talked to, yes, but I mean,
cool.
But who knows? I never engaged with her. So, but she always.
It's too bad you didn't have her on, man. That would have been a good guest.
It would have. But I think I reached out to her one time. I never heard anything back, so I was like, all right, I'm not going to push it. So
she was friends though with Cheryl Lee.
I think Sherilyn Fenn.
Sherilyn Fenn, yeah. So they had a connection there, yeah.
But Sherilyn Fenn seems like she was friendly with a lot of people in the 80s.
But they were sort of childhood friends before they both started acting, correct?
Right.
That's kind of cool.
So, but I mean, it's always sad when this happens, but it's always great to see when the community comes together and really trumps her up and stuff like that. If there's one thing I mean, I always liked her in movies and stuff like that, but if there's one thing that I agree with, how like we always talked about Fire Walk with Me and like the criticisms at the time and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
If I will agree with one how we said about season 3, like, okay, a criticism is like definitely they didn't use Ray Wise very much.
Yes. Yeah. That's legitimate.
Okay. I would say that a criticism of Fire Walk with Me is, and I agree with I can't remember the reviewer's name, so forgive me, but he said that Pamela Gidley was an actor that was just perfect for a David Lynch film.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at Mike Figgis's film Liebestrom,
okay,
that's the movie where she kind of came into prominence. That people were saying from that film, she is perfect for a David Lynch film. So she gets cast in Fire Walk with Me, and people who are huge Liebestrom fans are just eating this up, right? She's in Fire Walk with Me. But then when you see Fire Walk with Me, it's a very, very low-key role. Like, I mean, it's only maybe 5 minutes total in the finished film, if that.
So her fans felt she was underutilized, like Ray Wise.
Yes.
Interesting. Because I hadn't seen her in any of their films, so I didn't have that impression.
And
makes sense.
Listen, do I think she's really good in Fire Walk with Me? Sure. Mm-hmm. But I don't think that I don't think they had a big role for her.
Yeah.
I mean, we barely see her. I mean, I think the most screen time she has is as the corpse in the coroner's office. But no, I think that she was, just she seemed like a wonderful person, and I'm sorry we lost her. I mean, it's been horrible. We've had so many Twin Peaks deaths over the last year.
I know it. I know it. It really is.
So,
What?
Anna says, "Did you see Sherilyn Fenn's tweets about this?" No, I haven't, but obviously, I'm sure they're extremely sad as well. Everyone's saying, "Rest in peace, Pamela Gidley." Yeah, just obviously very sad.
Yeah.
Okay, so next thing, Jake Wardle actually uploaded a new video to his YouTube channel. It's been a long time, but he did another funny accent type of thing. So I posted that up. So if you're not subscribed to his channel, check it out. So that's fun.
How about Richard Austin, man? He keeps knocking him out of the park. And
today his haiku had to do with Annie. Yeah, and it was great. It was great.
Really good.
He used one of the images from the trailer, so that was fun. We'll get into that. We'll get into all that.
And he had a Marvel post credits ending, even though he said he didn't.
All right, let's see here. I'm trying to scroll through here real quick here. Sorry guys. Looking. Let's see here. All right, so last night was the big Showtime event at the Emmys. Yeah. And Mandy and I did a short little video about it last night. Honestly,
to go back and watch that. I missed that.
Honestly, not much was said. It was very much like
no season 4 announcement.
No. In fact, there's all these articles going around right now because someone said, "Oh, is this the ending?" And David Lynch says, "Yes, this is the ending." And they go, "Oh, so what we saw was the ending." And David Lynch goes, "Yes, that was the ending." But some people are saying like, he's not necessarily saying it's the ending of Twin Peaks ever. I mean, it's just this is the ending of season 3. Yeah. I mean, listen, he said Twin Peaks was over a long time ago too. So, don't worry, everybody. It's like Mark Frost says, it's a continuing story. And
right, but I'm thinking more and more it's going to be continuing in our heads. I don't know if any new tangible season 4 thing. I don't know.
We don't know. I mean,
I'm losing hope.
Well, I mean, you never know. I mean, and again, I'm not saying this to just be optimistic. I'm just saying you just don't know.
True.
And if you want to think evil thoughts, I mean, you could say, well, Showtime can do something with it if they want to,
with or without. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they could. I mean, I'm sure they would like to keep doing those pop-up shops and things like that. So. Yeah, who knows? But we won't know until after the Emmys and all that anyway. And I mean, yes, it's not official canon or anything like that, but Queen of Hearts is being made, so there will be another Twin Peaks thing.
Exactly.
So don't worry.
That's what I mean. It'll be alive. It just may not be Lynch and Frost.
Exactly. But anyways, so they they just talked about all the standard stuff that we've read a million times.
Right.
But
no new info, just
no new info. But it was exciting, for people on Twitter to be following along and
it's fun to see them all on stage together too.
Exactly. And there was a bunch of people there from the show, and everybody was having a good time. And then of course there was the people who were there, they all had a good time and everything like that. And everyone got
crates of those Blu-rays. They got to move, man. Let's move them out of here.
Yeah, and people got like stuff logs and that type of thing. But the best part was that after the episode aired, and then they listened to this like hour-long discussion, it was like a big little party, like out back, and so you could just but you could like mingle with Laura Dern and Kyle MacLachlan and all them stuff like that. So for the people who were there.
Yeah.
Aces.
Yeah.
But the highlight, the highlight was when the person hosting asked David Lynch if he had thought about Twin Peaks over the last 25 years. And Lynch said, not really. But whenever he did, he thought about Annie Blackburn.
Yes.
Which is really funny because
it caused a whole string of dreams.
Yes,
right?
Exactly. But what's funny is that people said, well, if that's true, then why wasn't Annie in season 3?
Yeah, I know. Well, that's the conundrum.
Exactly. But I'm so happy he didn't do that because that allows
Right.
Queen of Hearts to be made. So
now you can spin off. Yeah.
exactly. So, but anyway, Mandy called me up and just like excited, like, you're not going to believe what he said. And I
Yeah.
said, and I was thinking, did he say Queen of Hearts? That's all I want to know.
You had your fingers and toes crossed on that one.
But you know what though? You know, and again, like, and we've known for a long time that Lynch really likes that scene that with Annie and Laura and Fire Walk with Me. I mean, that was
for a guy that never talks about his work, he references that scene specifically on a couple of occasions.
Completely. But what it just kind of made me happy, not just because obviously I'm working on Queen of Hearts, but it made me happy because like when I started this campaign, like at least the countdown to it in October and then launched in around Thanksgiving. So it's almost like 8 months now we've been trending Annie Blackburn. Right.
Yeah.
And then with the trailers and especially with the last trailer I dropped, it kind of really puts her into the forefront. And I mean, I don't know if Lynch has seen them or not, but you know, I mean, if you go on Twitter, I mean, I'm posting.
He saw Jake Wardle's, you know, accent videos, so there's a chance that he watches that stuff. You know.
Well, and again, and then people he loves and trusts have posted about Queen of Hearts. So I don't know. You know, maybe he's taking a look at it, but it's just kind of funny how Annie Blackburn. We've been putting Annie Blackburn out there for 8 months now, and then all of a sudden the thing he thinks of is Annie Blackburn.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of funny to me. But I don't know, you know, the innocent YouTuber podcaster in me took it as sort of a little nod to us, you know.
I wouldn't be surprised that had those ramifications.
Why, thank you, Hal. Let me go to the chat real quick. Lights Above says, do you think there will be Emmy nominations for Twin Peaks? I think, see, it all depends on which episode they submit, because they can only submit one episode. Now, if they submit episode 18, perhaps, but maybe some people will be upset that there was no resolution to it. I don't know. I know the episode that would win would be episode 8, at least in several categories. But the problem with episode 8 is it wouldn't lock a nomination for Kyle MacLachlan.
So really the best actor nominee has to be prominently featured in the episode that's up? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know those rules. That kind of
you pick one episode from your show that you think best represents the show. Now, they screened part 18 last night, so I think that's the one they're going with. I mean, I could be wrong, but
and they couldn't do the it's a movie and it's one piece argument, could they?
No. Not if they're going for the Emmys.
Okay.
But yeah, well, I mean, that might be something they could be, you know, submitted for best feature, television feature.
Yeah.
They could try that. I don't know how far they get with that, but one of the cool things was that David Lynch did say something very sweet about Miguel Ferrer, saying that in the Twin Peaks world, Gordon Cole is devastated.
Oh,
and all I could think about is, well, what about this world? Are you sad, David Lynch? Like, I mean, yeah. He's saying Gordon Cole's devastated. What about David Lynch?
You know, if you live in that creative world, sometimes it's, you know, it sort of blurs.
Well, I think the sad thing is he's had a lot of people in his life pass away, in the last couple of years. And so, Harry Dean Stanton, Catherine Coulson, it just, it's just like one more thing of sadness in your life, So,
sure.
But no, I mean, apparently everyone had a great time. A couple of the people that I know that got to go, it was like it was an Academy screening, so you had to be like personally invited to go. Apparently they had a ticket, and I said, why didn't you offer it to me? And they said, well, you would have had to prove that you were, this lady. And I said, did you ever see Bosom Buddies?
Cameron would have been in drag that night.
That's always been my fear, that I was going to meet David Lynch one day in drag accidentally.
Wow. Calling Dr. Freud.
Jamie Michelle says, if the show is over, I'm okay with it. I always hope for more, but if not, okay. He gave us lots to think about and talk about. You know, honestly, I agree. I would be okay if season 3 was it. I would be okay.
Sure. Yeah.
But you're talking to someone who had to be okay thinking that season 2 was it.
Exactly.
So I've already made peace with the fact that Twin Peaks was over a long time ago.
And
so
that's the way it's going to end. Even if there is more, it's going to end on a what the hell note. It's
exactly
the way it is. It's the nature of Twin Peaks.
I mean, if you think about it, the one ending that was any remotely satisfying in the Twin Peaks universe is Fire Walk with Me, because at least it ends with a resolution of, yes, they're in the lodge, but they're together and Laura's happy.
Right, and the angels are there, and yeah, exactly.
But season 1 ends on a cliffhanger, season 2 on a cliffhanger, season 3 on a cliffhanger. It's just the nature of the beast.
It's around and round and round we go.
Exactly. Anna's saying Charlotte Fenn's tweeting a lot right now. Well, Anna, throw out some of her tweets and let us know what he's
copy and paste.
Oh, she says that she's posted a lot of pictures of her and Pamela Gidley together as children, things like that, saying they were best friends. And that's very sad. Anna says, I would hate for Showtime to take it somewhere with other directors cast for the money. I would hate that, although I'm not sure they could get a real following for that.
I kind of feel the same way about that.
Well, it's like the same thing when David Lynch quit, before.
Right. Yeah.
They had already locked Kyle into that contract. And so Showtime wanted to continue on. Maybe no one else would have shown up, but they would have done the Agent Cooper mystery hour or something.
Right. Kyle's like, oh no, it's going to be the second half of season 2 all over again.
Hey now. Listen, season 2 may not be the same. At the end
I like it. I'm just saying his feelings and a lot of the cast's feelings at the time was that they'd been abandoned on the ship.
I love the creators and I love the cast. And I understand that they're coming from a very personal place because they worked on the show. Mm-hmm. I'm saying, as somebody who enjoys the show, I think they've overstepped how bad they think the back half of season 2 is.
I totally agree.
We've
talked about this before. I think it plays so much better when you watch them back to back. That's one saving grace of the Blu-rays.
It didn't bother me even when it was on the air.
It didn't me either, because I was hardcore. But I'm just saying it plays better when you see them in rapid succession rather than the weeks we had to wait for the next 1 hour and then canceled again.
The Wyndham Earl section, I think, is brilliant. But it was that middle section between Laura to Wyndham Earl. Those like 5 episodes. Yeah. That was a long month. All right.
It was.
But I will say this, it still was shorter than waiting for Dougie to wake up.
You're right.
And what's funny is that, again, I'm not complaining about this at all, but what's funny is that Cooper was Dougie, right? Mm-hmm. You ready for this?
Okay.
He was Dougie from the length of episode 1 of season 1 till Maddie's death. That's how long he was Dougie. In episode total.
Yeah.
That's insane. If you think about in terms of like Twin Peaks season 1, season 2, that's a long time, right? Agent Cooper hanging upside down talking to Diane after the pilot to Maddie getting killed. That's a long time.
Yeah, that was a lot of episodes with Dougie. People were starting to, their patience was fraying.
And you know what? And it's like, if you know it, I don't know. I mean, like, it didn't bother me. It really didn't bother me. I mean, I thought it was kind of a funny way of like showing Agent Cooper with a different lens, right? It was kind of commenting on Agent Cooper in a different way. But I think people would be happier if season 4 came out and there was just a full-on Agent Cooper centric hardcore storyline happening, because then they would say like, oh, season 3 is about the return of Agent Cooper, right? I think they would have more peace with it. If there was something else. But the fact is that like the show, because Agent Cooper gets stuck as Dougie, those middle episodes for a lot of people just kind of, I don't want to say flatline, but it's like episodes 1, 2, 3, and 4 are moving up, right? And then 14 through 18 are moving up. But between like 5 and 13, it's just kind of, you know what I mean? Like
it's like the joke got a little bit repetitive.
Or I would say that I still, to this day, get confused what happens in each episode, which is something I would never be confused about in season 1 and 2.
Yeah.
because of the order of things. But
Yes.
because Dougie is just kind of like this, he's Rain Man basically all the way through.
Yeah.
I can't remember what happens in episode 7 versus episode 10 with Dougie.
Right.
You know, now when I go back and I look at the episodes, yes, I remember what happened. But if you were to say, remember what happened to Dougie in episode 7? I'd be like, no. Which one? What happened? You know what I mean? Because I can't remember where he is.
Yeah. Was that the chutes and ladders on the document, or was it the playing ball with Sonny Jim? I can't remember which episode.
Exactly. They all kind of, at least the Dougie section,
Yeah,
really blends together as like, I don't know, what year is this? You know, that type of thing.
Yeah.
But all right, let's see. Jamie Michelle says, I tweeted at the Emmys that Twin Peaks was the best show of last year. And George Griffiths liked my tweet. All I could think about was how Mandy would freak out. Yes, she's probably freaking out listening to the story right now.
Just the mention of the name.
Right. Anna says, the suspense of Dougie nearly killed me every week last summer. I was on a high the whole time. Us too. But I'm saying now that it's over, you know, when you go back and watch it, are you patient through the Dougie stuff, or do you find yourself just like, you know what I mean? Because
come on, this leads to nowhere. Yeah.
It doesn't bother me, but I can see how people now, knowing the full scope of it, would be like, I don't need to sit through 10 minutes of this.
Yes.
You know, but
you're right. If there was a season 4 with a full Agent Cooper arc, that would temper the Dougie thing when you watched it as a whole, you know, if you ever rewatched the whole thing.
Completely. I just want to give a shout out to Blake Morrow, who, you know, we've talked about before, who's made those amazing pictures, the Return to Twin Peaks pictures. He had a huge display in Paris. They made sort of like a Black Lodge room for people to walk through, and they displayed his pictures. So I just want to throw out a congratulations to that. Let's see here. Let's see if there's any other news here. But yeah, for the most part, it was like, you know, the Emmy thing was just big celebratory. You know, Twin Peaks is awesome, and you know,
I still wish there was an official video. I always want to watch those panel discussions, even though you don't get any new information. It's just fun to watch. Yeah,
totally. Ike the Spike was there, and he cleaned up so well I wouldn't even recognize him.
Yeah,
so that's great.
Ike the Spike.
Yeah, but did you see that Twin Peaks picture of the Sgt. Pepper album?
Yeah, that was fantastic. Loved it.
Yeah, I think they did a great job with that. Check that out. I'm sure you guys will see it if you search online for it.
Yeah, Kyle posted that, I think. Himself.
Yes. And they asked David Lynch, though, if you removed your face, what would be underneath your face? And
his face?
Yes, and he said pure light.
Nice.
And
that's his TM, man.
Exactly.
So how about the Festival Disruption trailer, the new one?
Well, tell me about it. I think is that the one? That's what the one he's on the ground, right?
Yeah, he's like, well, he's hovering over this thing, doing this. This is kind of like sideways, like this, hovering over this thing, and then like these, like bubbles pop out, and well, first like this like little figure pops out, and he's like, and then he flies away, and then these bubbles pop out, and he's just kind of like this, you know, the Festival Disruption. It's pretty cool. It's black and white. You gotta see it. It's, you know, David Lynch, he goes super hyper at the end, lights flashing, the electronic sounds. It's typical Lynch, but it's fun to watch.
Oh yeah. Jay Michelle says pure light, outstanding. Yes, I agree. I think Kyle said that beneath his face was like a glass of Bordeaux or something. He's got wine on his mind like every second.
Yeah.
You know.
What is it? Captured by Bear. What's his wine called?
I believe so. But listen, I know there's a lot of Kyle MacLachlan groupies out there, but apparently his wine is outstanding.
Yeah.
And I've heard enough people say that I don't believe it's just, you know, fan service.
Yeah, so, I would believe that.
Well, you never know, you know, if someone's
I say it's too sweet.
No, but I've heard it's excellent, so that's great for him because
like to try
Twin
it.
Peaks,
Pursued by Bear. Is that it? Pursued by Bear?
According to David Lynch, you know, Twin Peaks is over and Portlandia is over. Kyle's got to do something, right? So
Go Salavino, man.
yes, Jay Michelle Anna says pursued by a bear.
Pursued by bear, not a bear.
Oh.
Pursued by bear.
Brianne says yes, TM will definitely bring out the pure light.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Namaste.
Okay, so while I'm looking around for any potential other news, I want to get you on the record. What did you think of the
trailer?
The last Queen of Hearts promo trailer? Because you had no idea it was coming. So it drops. You click on it. What did you think of it?
Well, at first it was just like so beautiful to see the locations and then all the little Easter eggs in there. And the two actresses that you chose were fantastic. I can't imagine actually better casting, you know, I mean, that you really, you know, because that's difficult. These are iconic characters to the fans, you know, so it's really hard to have somebody fill that slot. And I think they did wonderfully. So I'm really excited, man. And I'm excited for you.
What did you think of seeing Annie taking a tour through not only the Twin Peaks locations, but the history of Twin Peaks? Yeah,
totally. And Mary Reber is so generous letting you shoot in there. That's so fantastic, man. It just adds that depth of realism that's gonna just make it stand out. So I'm excited. I really am.
I mean, seeing Annie walking up Laura's stairs in that dress, it just gives you chills.
Yeah. So when are you going to slip me the script, man? I actually don't want to see it. I want to just see the finished thing.
Yeah, I was going to say I'll slip you the NDA first.
No worries. I would never betray you, man.
I know. I just worry that one day I'll wake up and the script will be leaked on Dugpa or something.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah, that's my MO. I like to do
that. Indie Phantom says, Cameron, your trailer is beautiful, but what the hell happened to your hair? See, I'm getting a lot of crap for it. So
why?
I don't know. Some people like it.
But it's nice not to have to shave it, right?
No, it was easy to do that because I would just get the clippers out and that type of thing.
Okay. So you didn't take the straight razor to...
Oh, God. What do you think I am? Natural born killers?
Maybe.
Jesus. No.
I mean, a guy with the Scooby-Doo collection like you don't know what you're doing.
You're almost as bad as who was it? Steve the other day, who I said I'm having a kind of rough day today. Post happy things, and he tweeted at me a picture of Miley Cyrus turning into Hannah Montana. I was like, that was just wrong. Anyway, but no, I
liked Miley Cyrus on the Elton John special though.
No, but you know, but okay, so I guess we can talk about some updates. There's not a lot of updates, but you know, Amy, who played Annie in the trailer, you know, she was cast as Annie. She wasn't cast as Annie when we were shooting the trailer. This came after the fact. But you know, after working with her for a couple days, and then I was editing her and everything and getting to know her, I was just like, how can she not play the part? She was just so great. So yeah, I'm typing up a Indiegogo update. Hopefully I can finish that tonight. But when you reached out to me, you said, let's do a video. So I was like, perfect. We are still looking for a cast, Hal. It is really, really hard to find a cast. And I'm not talking about like, well, I'm just being picky and trying to find just complete lookalikes or something like that. It's not that at all. I'm just trying to find the right person, you know, for the role.
And who can commit to it.
And because of the money raised, because, you know, Indiegogo did take out like $3,000 of the money raised, you know, we're trying to cast more locally, you know, so that really kind of narrows down.
You're limiting the field already. So yeah.
Right. Now, of course, you know, there's been actors that have contacted me before and they said, hey, you know, I have so many frequent flyer miles and I will just come out there and on my own dime. And hey, if you want to do that, awesome. Contact me and we'll talk. But we're trying to cast mostly local so that they have a house to go to at night, because I can't afford like all these motel rooms. Like,
yeah, I can't put you up every night.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it's been really hard, and I honestly am surprised at how difficult it is, because I've cast other projects before and it goes pretty fast, or you know what you're looking for. There's just a lot of people that are contacting me that are like perfect for like these little small roles, but like not the big roles or the supporting stuff. So I don't know.
Can you say what parts you're going to cast, or will that give things away? You want to keep that kind of down low?
Well, I mean, I will say that obviously the Cooper character, that's a very difficult one to cast, and not so much because Kyle MacLachlan is the man and he's Agent Cooper, and
But there is a certain amount of gravitas, as they say, that you have to bring to that character.
Right.
A lot of people don't have, that also have that all-American,
I agree with you there.
Look,
I agree with you there on that. But what it is mostly with that character is that it's almost, and he goes to Jeffrey Beaumont in Blue Velvet. It's this person who can look innocent, but literally traverse from one world to the other.
Right. Well, it's the duality of Twin Peaks,
Exactly. It's the intelligence mixed with the innocence, right?
Yeah.
Are you cracking peanuts over there? Or what are you
Am I sorry? Is that too loud? Sorry, man. I'm just fiddling.
You sound like the woodsman, like cracking over there. Anyway, so that's and again, and what's dawned on me is David Lynch. He's an incredibly talented person, right? And he's obviously, whatever he does, he's really talented at what he does. But if he had not met Kyle MacLachlan, his film career would have been completely different. Because without Kyle MacLachlan, there is no Blue Velvet. There is no Twin Peaks without Kyle MacLachlan.
Right.
He's
Jimmy Stewart to Alfred Hitchcock. Kyle MacLachlan is to David Lynch.
Yes. He got so lucky, obviously, casting him in Dune, but I believe that he primarily cast them in Dune to establish a working relationship to do Blue Velvet. That's what I personally think. I think that he was right for Paul Atreides, but at the same time, though, even Kyle will say, like, when he cast me in Dune, I think he had me in mind to go right from that to Jeffrey. And that's the thing that I don't know. Like, I'm having more luck finding potential women for the movie than I am the men. And you would think it wouldn't be that way, but it is. So that's been rather difficult. And I've had long discussions with Caitlin, who's producing the film with me, and about, are we going to have to cut sections or characters out because we're not finding the cast? And then once the script was completed and people started reading it, they're like, we're not cutting. We're not changing this. So we were going to shoot in the summertime. We still are, but we've moved it to more, later.
Late summer.
Yeah.
Early fall.
But which is great in a way, because it will give us more of that moody atmosphere as opposed to the summer. The summer look. And the one thing, like the last trailer had was, when you saw Annie on Ronette's bridge and you saw the snow in the back of the mountains and all that, like, it was just, it's very moody. It's very mysterious. I had a lot of people contact me saying, this trailer just in itself is the fan film I wanted to see, because it like just takes you back to that mood of the end of season 2, for instance. So that was, that was really great. But
it's your happy accident.
Well, no, I mean, the idea was to shoot something that gave you a sense of mood.
But I mean, just pushing it forward into the fall, which allows the weather to help you out.
Yes. The problem with that, though, is, I have a break.
You have a life.
Well, not just that, but I have a break usually in the summer times that I can utilize.
Yeah.
So if I push it back, which looks like I'm going to have to, which looks like I'm going to have to take a leave from some of my work. So then that leaves me unpaid for that. So I'm going to be in the next probably few days, if not a week. I've always had it kind of set up, but I've never really pushed it. But I think I'm going to be setting up the Patreon account because I need to be able to cover some of these bills while if I'm out shooting this movie. I was hoping to do over the summer, but like I said, I think I'm going to have to push it back, which is going to make it a better film. And obviously be able to include more and give me more time to find all the actors and all that. So I did get in touch with a friend of mine who runs an acting agency close to that area. So, you know, hopefully I'll be able to find some people. The problem is with acting agencies, obviously they tend to have people that cost more than newbies and that kind of thing. So, all right, Hal, any questions for me so that I can
No, I was just all open ears. I wanted to hear your update, and now we've had it. So
yeah. You know, we can't really work on too many of the costumes because people aren't cast yet. You know, we obviously have Annie cast and we have Laura cast, but you know, so they're working on outfits for them. But
that dress that whoever made for Annie, what was her name?
Eva,
yeah, fantastic. That dress looks beautiful.
She made it with Amy's help, and then they hand painted the whole dress.
That's amazing. It's really pretty.
Yeah, and they did it in a way where it's like it didn't bleed. So and but I have to ask you, because I've asked other people on here, what was your reaction when you saw Annie just all of a sudden just appear and approach Jack Rabbit's palace? Did you get a little chill, Hal?
I mean, I love the locations, man. So it piques your interest in the storyline and where you're going to go with it all. So absolutely, and beautiful to look at. So well done for sure, man.
Well, it's funny though, because like a lot of people were like, "Oh, you know, new promo trailer," and they're like 10 minutes, but it was like, I don't think that 10 minutes feels like 10 minutes. I think you really get into that mood and everything. And then once Annie disappears at Jack Rabbit's palace and appears at Laura's house, it's just like, oh Lord.
So fun, man.
It's so fun. And you know, just having and then once you see like Laura turn up the staircase and all of a sudden there's the shot from the pilot of her going up the stairs and everything like that, and then Annie's drifting in and out of consciousness and all that. I don't know, it's just like, I gotta tell you, as a fan of Twin Peaks for, you know, the majority of my life, you know how some people can tell you like where they were when Kennedy was shot and that type of thing. You know, I can tell you that you know, I met my first girlfriend on the night that Agent Cooper got shot. Season 1. That was the day I met my first.
What was it like? They're holding a camera in. It's like in the same position, you know, that David Lynch did at the ceiling fan. That had to be amazing, man.
You know what though? I'm somebody that when I'm working, like it's just all about like, let's just get it done, because you know, I don't want to be there for hours.
You don't want to overstay your welcome and all that stuff. So it's hard to take it in because you're busy.
But I will say this: there was a moment with Amy where I stopped with her and I just said, we need to just take a moment.
Yeah. Can we just sit here and stare and enjoy where we're at right now? Just
for a second. Let's just take a moment and realize how amazing this is that you were dressed up as Annie Blackburn in the Laura Palmer house right now.
Yeah.
And one of the best parts was that when we were shooting the part of Annie and Laura in the bed, which is Laura's bedroom in Firewalk with Me, there were a couple of people that were friends of Thor Omley, who made that great Summer in Pearl Lakes, that came by, and Mary said, oh, just so you know, friends of Thor are going to swing by and get a picture of the staircase and the fan. Oh, it's great. They come by, and I'm like, oh, you guys want to come up? Come on up. And they come up, and you know, these guys from Europe, and they walk up and they see Laura and Annie laying in the bed,
and they're going, what is going on?
Yeah, I didn't know if they thought
the daily goings on here.
Exactly. I didn't know if like just cosplaying was happening.
Right.
You know, but no, it was just a lot of fun. But yeah, there were But I mean, but you, like you said, there were Easter eggs, right? I mean, like when Laura's at the school, I mean, that's the school from Fire Walk with Me. She walks by the trees,
Yeah.
you know, that you see in Fire Walk with Me.
Yeah.
You know, there's
Captain Crunch.
yeah, the Captain Crunch, and but I mean, like getting Annie to sit at the Double R Diner in the exact seat where Cooper met her, you know, like that's just trippy to me. You know, just little things like that.
It's a Peaks Freaks wet dream, man.
It completely is. My sister, who doesn't, I mean, she's seen a little bit of season 1, you know, back in the day, but she hasn't followed it at all. When I showed her I sent her the link, whatever, and she watched it, and she goes, if I was a Twin Peaks fan, this would be the greatest thing I'd see all day, because it's just like, you know, here it is. But yeah, well, the good news is we hit 4,000 views today on the trailer, which is great.
Yeah.
Personally, I thought it would be a little higher by now just because of how epic the thing is, but whatever. But I'm very happy with how supportive everybody's been and stuff like that. It's been crazy. But no, I think Amy looks amazing, and I think she's going to kill it. And
yeah.
So yeah, no, I mean, it was a wild thing. It was I got back and I was just like in a daze.
I know. I followed you on Facebook, seeing the photos that you were posting, and I was really smiling for you, man.
It was wild. And I got back, and you know, I got all the footage, you know, ready to work with, and I just sat there and I thought, oh my, look where I've been over the last week.
Yeah.
You don't even realize it, you know. You just, because like while I was doing it, you know, I would get back every night just completely exhausted from doing it. But then I'd be thinking, because I was there for a week, I was like thinking like 3 days in advance. Well, I need to be here in 3 days. So I never was really mentally there like all the time. You know what I mean? Like I was always a few days ahead, and that type of thing. But no, I was very, very happy with it. You know, I came back on Tuesday afternoon, and the trailer hit Friday morning at 9 a.m. So I think I put the first day, Wednesday, I put in 21 hours of editing.
Man.
21 straight. I think I stopped to have like lunch. And then the next day
you had to remember to blink.
And then the next day I think I did 13 hours of editing, and then it was ready Friday morning.
Nice.
And that's just, I'm just like, you know, I'm like a robot with that kind of stuff. I just hardcore, just don't stop. Honestly, I wanted to keep going.
That kind of schedule will kill you though, Cameron. You can't do that all the time.
No. But at the same time though, I just didn't know if it was going to work. You know what I mean? Like, because I shot all this stuff, but I was like, how is this all
put it together? Yeah.
I mean, I had ideas about it, but I was just like, well, how is this going to fit?
All the magic happens in the editing room.
It completely does. All you have to do is, you know, you have your vision, you shoot what you need to do, but you also shoot, if you have time, as much extra stuff as possible so you have options.
Exactly.
And then if you don't need those options, fantastic. But it's better to have too much footage and not need it than to need enough footage and not have it.
Then you have something for the outtake reel.
Well, you know, it's been fun too, because I've been able to use like stills and stuff like that from shots I didn't use as like meme stuff and all that kind of stuff. So it's been good stuff. It's been fun.
I like that one picture that you posted, the selfie of you. I don't know if it was a selfie, but you at the bottom of the falls from that vantage point. That was interesting to see that angle.
Yeah, well, that they actually just opened up that lookout just recently.
Oh, cool.
So that it was cool to be able to get a shot of the falls that there's never even been in the show before.
Yeah, that we haven't seen. Yeah.
You know. So all right, let me look at the chat here. Jamie says there's nothing wrong with your hair. Thank you, Jamie. What the haiku says, I can't stay as it's 4 a.m. I just woke up because of the girl. Oh, this is Richard.
Richard. Hey, Richard. Your latest haiku was fantastic, man.
Yeah, exactly. Anna says, I can't believe people aren't jumping on the chance to play Cooper.
Let's give Richard a plug. Is it, well, search What the Haiku on YouTube, but then www.richardaustinwriter.com.
Right, right. Um, let's see. Brienne says, all you need is Annie's dress. Amazing. And she loved the use of the pink room music. Yeah. Well, I mean, when Annie disappears from Jackar's palace and that pink room kicks in, it's just kind of, I don't know. To me, it's just like, that's what I live for, you know?
You're doing it, man.
You know, and I mean, it looks like Alice in Wonderland, you know, when she's walking through the woods and all that stuff. So I don't know. I was very happy with it. I'm so happy people really liked it because you never know. You never know what you're going to get.
Well, it's kind of the first taste. So it's important first impressions, you know? So it's,
well, yeah.
I think you nailed it, man.
Thank you. Thank you. That's just small sliver of what you're going to get. But yeah,
you've whet our appetites successfully for sure.
Yeah, right. Well, thank you. I mean, so there's 4 trailers, and I posted the other days that if you watch all 4 trailers back to back, it's nearly 20 minutes of new, you know, Twin Peaks material or fan material, you know, you can watch. So that's cool in and of itself, you know. Yeah. But yeah, so thank you for everybody's support. But I agree with Anna. She's saying that why isn't anybody jumping at the chance to play Cooper? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's like people are intimidated. But at the same time, though, you got to be careful, right? Because you don't want someone to come in and do a mimic performance. That's not what I wrote. You know, I you know, this isn't a Saturday Night Live sketch where we're trying to mimic somebody. You need to, you know, be that person, and you don't have to be. And I set it up in a way where it's more Jeffrey Beaumont than it is Agent Cooper. So I tried to make it a little easier for an actor to come in and not have to just all blazing Agent Cooper right away. You know what I mean? Like,
so when you're interviewing potential cast members, do you do the David Lynch technique where you just have a chat with them, or do you give them lines, or what's your technique there?
Okay. Back in the days when I was dating, sometimes I would like.
Now you're an old married man. You can't have those fun.
No, but anyway, but back when I was dating, sometimes it all depends on the person. But a lot of times, like you would meet them at Borders, and like you could have a conversation, have a coffee, whatever, and you know, talk about books they like or whatever, movies they like, whatever. And if you like them, then you can move on to doing something else, going out to dinner or whatever you're gonna do.
Yes.
That's kind of like what I am with actors. Is I chat with them for a few minutes, see if I even get along with them, how, you know, who they are. And if I like what I see, then I'll bring them back and do audition or read through. Oh, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I tried to do, well, I did an audition when I was up there in Seattle. Very few people came to the audition, which was surprising. You know, there's a lot of fans of Twin Peaks up there, but there's a lot of people who aren't fans of Twin Peaks up there.
Where did you promote it?
It got put on the like a Seattle Facebook filmmaker actor page. Now I couldn't post to it because I don't live in Seattle, and they only want local people to post to. So someone else kindly did it for me.
Isn't there like a local paper, like an alternative press or something like that? You could have done a little blurb in, or go around to the colleges and shit.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, Caitlin's gone around to a bunch of the theater departments, and you know, there's been some people have reached out, but for the most part, it's the same thing that used to happen a long time ago, which was theater departments are for the theater actors.
The theater.
And they don't really look at film, you know?
Okay.
And if they do, they certainly are interested in a fan film.
Right.
Because fan film usually means something you can't put on your resume, or it's not something that people are going to see. Well, I'm going to say this to any potential actors out there. This one is going to be seen. So, in fact, if you did a Sundance movie, or you did Queen of Hearts, chances are you will be seen more in Queen of Hearts than a film that plays at Sundance. Because that film still needs to be picked up for distribution, and it's probably going to get a VOD release, and you don't know when people are going to stream it, whatever. this thing's going to be dropped for everybody to see free. And there's a lot of interest in it. And there's going to be more interest in it as we're getting closer to it coming out. So, yeah, if you're interested in being in a film, let me know, because I'd really like to get this thing cast well. But yeah, I agree. It's casting a film should not feel like you're having to like pull teeth or, you know, reach out from the, you know, from the bottomless pit and be like, are you an actor? You know, people should be going, Queen of Hearts? I totally want to be in it, because Krista Bell's tweeting about it, right? Jake did a trailer. I mean, you would think if you are in the Twin Peaks community, this should be on your radar. However, as I've said before, this project isn't being really talked about on some of the larger Twin Peaks platforms. So a lot of people who are Twin Peaks fans haven't heard about it. So that's why it's so wonderful when a writer like Anna does an article about the film, because that's like some of the only press we're getting. So, so it's cool to be underground, but sometimes it's nice to be a little bit more known so that you can draw more talent. Funny note, I will say I did actually reach out to Kenneth Welsh's agent, because obviously this film does deal in part with Wyndham Earl, and I thought, wouldn't it be great if I just get a small little cameo from him or whatever? And it turns out he's no longer with that agent. So, and of course I didn't get a referral as to where he went. So anyway, but
that's interesting, because I remember, wasn't it at last year's Twin Peaks UK festival he was scheduled to appear and then pulled out at the last minute? Wonder if there's some story behind that. Right.
A.A. McCreary says, I just arrived in Monterey and thought it would be funny if you were live, and here you are. Yes, we are live in Monterey. Big Little Lies, I think, is over filming here, and so off they went.
All of a sudden, I hear that Eric Burdon song.
Exactly. But yeah, that's basically where we are. I mean, we're trying to find locations, trying to find the actors. That's priority 1 and 2 right now.
But your script is locked down, man, so no further revisions, correct?
There's always going to be little things here and there, but nothing so much that like you'd have to like reprint it out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So I'm happy with that. I mean, listen, you can take out anything you've ever written and you revisit it 5 years later. Yeah. You change a million things, but as of right now, oh no, I'm thrilled with it.
You're good. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, but we're still needing also people to work on things on smaller capacities. Like I said, I'm looking for people who are interested in visual effects and that type of thing, because there's not a lot, but there's a few, and some things I really want done well, or at least to the standards that season 3 was. I'm not looking for an atom bomb shot, don't worry, but something.
And you're not being self-indulgent. You're not up there in a director's chair going, "A cabana boy."
What? What are you talking about?
You said you needed some people for little parts. I thought maybe you were surrounding yourself with sycophants to bring you coffee or something.
That'd be awesome. But no. I'm very much. I run a set very much like Kubrick does. Not screaming at his actors, but if you ever walked on a Kubrick set, it was usually about 6 people.
Mm-hmm.
Not the 50 or so that usually make Hollywood films. And that's because I grew
One
up,
of which is Shelley Duvall having a nervous breakdown.
True. But what that comes from is the independent film mentality of, well, I can't pay everybody to be here for a million years. So, you just have the essential people there, and, people do multiple jobs and blah, blah, blah. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when I shot that trailer up there in Snoqualmie, it was just me and 2 actresses.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it turned out pretty damn well. So,
It did.
So I mean, you don't need to have a large crew for this kind of thing, but you need to have the right people involved.
Yeah, for sure.
So, Looks like everybody is like falling asleep in the chat.
Well, it is getting late if we're on East Coast time.
Oh, come on.
Almost midnight. See, but it's only 9 o'clock for you.
Yeah, it's true. We got 2 thumbs down though, Hal.
Oh, well, I'd be disappointed if those 2 people weren't here.
I know. And
it shows that they care.
And 19 thumbs up, so that's great. Looking over to see if there is any last bit of news here. Anything in the Twin Peaks world that you're aware of, Hal?
I think we covered it all.
Yeah, because there's not much.
No.
But let's see here. I guess the new dream theory of Twin Peaks is that Laura was the dreamer, and that at the end when she wakes up, she just wakes up screaming.
Bad dream.
Definitely. UK festival is coming up in the fall. Lindsay's, there's a thing on her site, twinpeaksukfest.com, where you can win 2 tickets to go. I'm not sure, but I don't think they pay for your plane fare over there, but that's cool.
No, plane fare not included, just admission.
Oh, let me ask you, did you read the Carrie Page diary entry that won the
no, I saw it, but I didn't read it.
Okay. Mandy read it, and she said it was pretty good, but it was short. Like just when you got into it was over. So hey, that's talent right there, because
part of there's a whole series of like it's like the fan version of Mark Frost's Final Dossier.
Yes.
With characters that weren't included in there yet.
Yes. So yeah, I haven't read it, but I heard it was good, and the fact that Mandy wanted more from it, like, have it continue, that's got to be a good thing.
Gays for Mandy.
Oh God, she wasn't on air more than 2 minutes before someone threw that in the chat.
I had
and
to
it's been
either that or singing Barry Manilow. So I mean,
Exactly. So, are you still not on Twitter?
I know you have Twitter. I just don't use it. I check it. There's people I follow on there, but
okay.
I changed my password like they told us to today.
Oh, I haven't bothered.
Did you hear that?
I didn't bother with that.
They say they recommend all 330 million people change their passwords because some passwords got printed out on their system in plain text.
Well, I'm not too worried about it. I just pretty much use it for marketing stuff. So
right.
I don't post my innermost secrets on Twitter.
Don't post your social security number and your credit card numbers.
No. But all right, Hal.
Okay,
let's wrap this up. Where can people find you online?
On Facebook, Hal Brandt. No big deal.
Yeah, I noticed.
Pretty boring.
I noticed you got a few people from the chat friending you on there.
Yeah. Everybody's welcome to friend me. I love my Twin Peaks friends, so for sure. Yeah. And you're gonna be immersing in Queen of Hearts, man. You'll probably log off and do something. You won't just go to sleep
tonight. Okay, so I probably have another like 4 hours of work to do on it.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, like every day. I'm not kidding you.
Every waking moment.
If I'm not doing something else, that's like, you know what I mean.
Your regular job and your regular life.
Yeah, so I'm putting in probably about 10 to 12 hours a day into this project, on top of everything else I'm doing.
And you sleep when?
I usually sleep between midnight and 5.
That'll induce psychosis after a while, man.
I know. Well, as I catch up, I try to catch up on the weekends, or but like I have like a long list of things that I do, and I get maybe a fraction of them done like every day. And the things I get done every day are the things that I have to do every day. Yeah. So like the big things that I need to get done aren't I'm not completing those. So it's like, and like I have to rewrite the list over every day to remind myself, because I want to drive myself crazy that I have to rewrite that every day, that I just finally get rid of it. So as you can
doing anything like hitting the Xanax or anything, man. Deal with your stress.
Now, I'm not stressed.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I have just a very tight schedule of
Yeah.
for so many things. So, but yeah, anyway, it is wonderful to be talking with you. And
Absolutely, man. It's always a pleasure. So yeah. Yeah.
and don't be a stranger. Let's not go
Hey,
to 4 months without you.
I'm around.
Yeah, people have said to me, you know what? Like, I know you're not raising money for Queen of Hearts anymore, which, by the way, if you want to, I mean, you can still donate money towards the campaign. It's still open. You can do that. But you know, we're not doing the big like telethon things we were doing
24-hour marathon.
No. Well, hey, you bowed out after like
well
7 hours.
I'm not insane. you were losing it a little bit there at the end. It was funny to watch.
I know. But it was good.
Yeah.
But people have really missed that. Like when we were all on there at once. Like that was so much fun.
It was fun.
But you know, Zoe McLean, who has been on the show a few times.
How cute is she? My God.
Anyway,
well,
she you know, she and I did like a whole like Ask Cameron and Zoe anything video, which was fun.
Yeah.
But we've been talking about, this is not going to appeal to anybody in the Twin Peaks community, but we're actually going to do I think a 6-part series. We're gonna break down Gossip Girl.
Oh, Jesus.
And I sent her some messages yesterday. I'm like, I think it's time that we do it. And she's like, yes, let's do it now. So I'm going to have to go and revisit Gossip Girls and get ready for those conversations. So if there's any like Serena and Blair references in Queen of Hearts, that's why. No, I'm kidding. But anyway, no, it is absolutely wonderful. Jamie Michelle says the marathon was awesome. Addison says we all missed the summer of Twin Peaks. I do too. I missed the whole thing of like doing the immediate reactions with Hal, and then the watch alongs with everybody, Mandy, and then we would do like a thought of the day halfway through the week, and
Frank.
It was a wild schedule. I mean, but we kept to it the whole time. It was pretty insane. But and then the whole thing with the YouTube thing, and then we had to go to Vimeo, and then not Vimeo, VidMe, and then we had to come back.
We had short-lived VidMe,
and then we had to come back to YouTube. Oh my goodness! It was just it was like it literally was the huge roller coaster.
It was like season 2. It kept getting pulled, man.
But you know what, though? I think that in a way really helped like get these videos in this channel like an audience, because other YouTube channels, I'm not putting them down, but a lot of them, you know, they would talk about the show and they would get a tremendous amount of views, more views than we were getting, honestly. They would get, I mean, yes, a few of ours went to 20,000 or so, but you know,
our episode 8 got a lot of views.
Yeah, but a lot of theirs were routinely getting like 20,000, and we weren't. But I think what happened was people got like emotionally invested with us because of all the craziness. And then when we were doing the Queen of Hearts campaign, and then YouTube, you know, we got yanked again and all that stuff. That is what kind of kicked into gears. As you said so eloquently, like, you know, nobody, what was it? Nobody likes it. Like people being vindictive, like, you know,
saboteurs.
Yes, no one likes to have something they care about being sabotaged.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a wild time, and I feel bad because, you know, we haven't been making as many videos as we used to. But it's okay in this sense, because it's like I would be just completely mentally and physically exhausted if I was doing these videos on top of everything else I was doing.
Yeah.
And honestly, like,
see, that's why Richard Austin's got it right, man. He's like, 2 minutes and I'm out.
Right. But, you know, people have been very nice, and they're just like, listen, we totally understand. You're super busy trying to work on the film. And, you know, I mean, when the film comes out, you're going to, all that hard work I'm putting into it, you're going to see why. And I think you'll be happy with it. So, but yeah, no, Hal, I want to thank you not only for your friendship, but your support. You know, you've been with me for, it's been almost a year now, right? Because you and Frank came in like right before.
Yeah, right before season 3 was set to air. We started doing these.
Yeah. So it was right around this time.
Yeah.
And remember we did like
it was right after you and James broke up.
Oh God. But anyway, it was. But we did like I did like the whole countdown, the 10 days, the 6 days stuff. You know what I mean? That was like that was so much fun. You know, to a lot of people, if you just started watching these videos, go back and watch some of those old ones and stuff like that.
It's a time capsule.
We were wrong about so many things.
Yeah.
The only thing that I was not wrong about was that prior to season 3, I kept maintaining season's going to end with Laura alive.
You nailed that one, man.
I knew that was coming, and it wasn't because of the TMZ leak. You know, it was. I just knew. Because Lynch's whole thing of killing Cheryl Lee, bringing her back, killing Cheryl Lee, bring her back. The only thing he could do is bring her back at this point.
Yeah.
So there it is. All right, let me go to the chat. Let me say goodbye to everybody.
All right.
Addison says, you guys made it so interactive when you weren't banned. Let's see here.
I'm glad they have the chat replay now.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yes.
Because I never get to see the chat when we're doing these live because it feeds back. So I like to rewatch it and see the chat.
Exactly. Yeah, people are asking questions that unfortunately I cannot answer at this particular time, but thank you for inquiring. Jamie Michelle says, I will never forget you and Hal's reaction to part 8. Mine was the same. That was this reaction.
Yeah, I know. I think everybody had the same reaction. That was what was beautiful. We could tell it was like communal. What the hell?
I knew we had struck a chord because when we hit record, within 5 minutes, we had 500 people watching it live. Because everybody either wanted us to explain it to them or they tuned in to see what the hell we would say.
What we would possibly say. And we had the same feeling. It's like, what are we going to say? As soon as that episode ended, I still remember it. I'm like, I've got to go on live with Cameron in 30 minutes and dissect this. And I have no idea what I just saw.
Yeah, exactly.
The origin of Bob.
I think, I think what it was we just had to experience it with everybody else and just have a communal. What to quote Zoe McLean? What?
Yeah, what? And didn't Mark Frost say they definitely wanted that reaction, and boy, they got it, man.
Right, but what made me happy about it is because that atom bomb whole sequence was supposed to be at the beginning of Fire Walk with Me.
Interesting.
So, but they changed it. Because they had the whole thing with like Judy or whatever, like spewing out the stuff. Whereas in the Fire Walk with Me, it was supposed to be one of those neighborhoods that you see like in like Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, where like those 1950s neighborhoods that they would build up fake to test out atom bombs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The opening scene was going to be the atom bomb sequence, and then we would go to this neighborhood that was built as a facade, and you would see like all these insects, not the giant bugs,
not the frog moth,
no, but like these little insects that crawled in the kitchen underneath a Formica kitchen table and were protected by the bomb blast, and that opened the portal, and those insects became the little man and all that in the Black Lodge and Bob and all that.
Wait, where did you hear this information?
From Bob Engels.
Wow.
So that's why the little man in Fire Walk Me is always talking about the Formica table, because it protected them from the atom bomb. So,
wow.
But they took out that whole sequence and they left the atom bomb in there and they made it something else. But that was I mean, it's interesting how like they left in all the Formica table stuff in Fire Walk Me, but cut out that whole section. So like it has no bearing on anything anymore.
It does, but it's in your mind. But it's there's definitely, that's interesting, man. That's really cool.
Yeah. So obviously they didn't have like a giant frog moth climbing in a young girl's mouth in the Fire Walk with Me. But can you imagine, like, just real quick, the atom bomb sequence you see in the beginning of the Black Lodge, and then it going from that to Laura Palmer walking down the street? Like,
yeah.
I'll tell you one thing: Fire Walk with Me would have gotten better reviews.
Yeah,
but they wouldn't have been able to do computer graphics like that in '92.
True.
So anyway, they lucked out. All right, let's see. Let's see here. Any last thing? Nope. Looks like everyone's just
Everybody's falling asleep on us.
No, come on. No. I think they're just not used to me being live anymore. But all right, Hal, thank you so much. Everybody, you know where to find me. Find me on Facebook, Twitter, join the Queen of Hearts Facebook page, the Noxious Anonymous Facebook page, the Twitter accounts and all that. It's wonderful to see you guys here. It's wonderful to be doing one of these videos again. Appreciate all your support. Make sure to give these videos a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. And I'm going to have the Patreon up in a few days or a week or whatever, but it's up now if you want to contribute. I just haven't written anything yet on the page. But anyway, I appreciate everything you guys ever do for us in this channel, and we will see you next time. Take it easy. Bye.
Cameron, are you going to let your hair continue to grow so the next time on the video it's going to be shoulder length?
No, my hair doesn't grow down. It only grows up. I'm like a racer head.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to have a Henry look next time?
No, I will not.
All right, man. Take it easy.
All right. Bye, guys.